I'm Don. Today's video and miniature is brought to us by War Bear Studios. Today we double down with our sepia underpainting, but we focus on painting green. So watch this video as we turn this diorama into this. This channel is supported by all these awesome brands. And also, this channel won't be possible without the support of my patrons. First off, we start with the shameless plug. So, do consider subscribing to this channel. It helps immensely, especially if you like the video. And do consider being a patron if you're a serious miniature painting learner. I focus on teaching and not on impressing, so you'll find my process and methods a bit more relatable and easy to follow if you're trying to level up your painting from the usual army painting and you want to paint your HQs and the bigger models really nicely. So I hope to see you as a subscriber at the very least or as a patron at my Patreon page. Now we paint green over the sepia underpainting. Well, painting green over sepia is kinda weird, to be honest, because like blue, it doesn't really matter if your underpainting is purple or like zenithal, the ordinary black and white zenithal, if you're painting green. However, with green can be tricky depending on the brand, but with most paint brands, most greens, especially yellow greens, tend to be a little bit more transparent than other colors. So being a little bit more transparent like red and definitely like yellows, having a nice underpainting helps the painting of greens a little bit easier. Painting green, I think it's obvious, is one of my fav, not one, is my fav color to paint. So I feel like, personally, that green is the most versatile color. As you can see, I differentiated the painting of the orc skin and the armor by painting a bit more yellow-green towards the highlights of the orc skin. Now, to differentiate the armor parts of the enemy, basically I'll be painting more light blue-grays as highlight colors, giving it a less saturated look and giving it a different feel, hopefully a more like crispy metallic armor feel to the armor. This will differentiate the very soft transitions used with the yellow greens. Now, most definitely, the sepia underpainting helps immensely with the painting of this diorama. I actually just painted this in less than a couple of days. You saw earlier in the video while I was doing my shameless plug, I applied like the sepia underpainting with an airbrush. But you could apply it with like dry brushing, so it's a bit of a slop chop, although we're not really dealing with just black and white. And to be honest, you could actually do underpainting with greens, with purples, with pink, or with any other color. Of course, the final result will be a tad bit different because those are your shadow colors. The safest in my opinion is this sepia underpainting. By safest, I mean it kinda like looks good as the base or underpainting for most colors, except blue. Now we're painting the green orc skin. I'm using lime green here from Vallejo model color. Well, basically, even with the model colors, they are usually very opaque. But this lime green color is a little bit more transparent than usual. I'm not using my cuttlefish so much so that you find it a bit more relatable or you find the painting a bit more relatable. But here I'm using guac green, which is a brighter version of game color dead flesh. If you're using Vallejos, you need dead flesh and mix it a little bit with ice yellow. Now, since these paints are a little bit more transparent, it's so much easier to paint the skin. We're practically painting it with very fat glazes. But I did not thin the paints so that I have fat glazes. I'm just doing basic sketching and layering, and I'm going really fast. The videos here you see are 2 times my normal speed, which is still very fast. So I'm just sketching very quickly, but I get really pretty good results because the paints are semi-transparent. And I think you can hear that the roosters agree. So I finished the armor, the orc skin, and most of the base colors of this diorama on the first day. So on the second day, it's a matter of just layering up, painting lighter colors on top of the base colors. Now you see in the video that I'm painting the copper NMM. A quick trick with copper or with NMM is to make the highlights very sharp or crispy. You need to paint it very nicely on the edges to make it look really sharp. But I prefer using Vallejos when I want to do really sharp NMM highlighting. But when I do highlights for skin, I do prefer my cuttlefish because they tend to produce softer highlights. So it's a matter of just layering up on the second day. It took me roughly 6, maybe 8 hours. So basically, I finished this model in a couple of days, and I feel that the sepia underpainting helps so much to speed up the painting because the sepia underpainting serves as a shadow or a shade area for most of the parts of this model or diorama. So for the undersides and very dark areas of the model, I did not paint those areas. This is most obvious in the groundwork because you could see on the right side of the diorama, it's almost black. This gave me a nice volumetric feel to my painting, and I painted less. Now it's time to thank all my awesome patrons, and without their support, there will be no YouTube channel. Also, a ton of thanks to Warbear Studios for being a Patreon partner. That's why they sponsored this video and the miniature. Warbear Studios create really awesome stuff, and I'm really excited to share you like the next miniature for next month. It's a really cool mini. It's not a diorama though, but he's giving me a diorama, a huge one, bigger than this, for my pile of shame. So I hope you saw in this very short video how I utilized the sepia underpainting. I simply did not paint the undersides and the darker areas of the model. You may do fat glazes with purple and other colors to make the painting look more impressive. But again, my focus is to keep this as relatable and easier to follow for most learners. As I've said, I finished this in less than a couple of days, which is I think relatively fast, but you could like spend a bit more, like a few more days, a couple more days to really refine and improve your painting. This is an awesome piece and you will have so much fun painting this one. Also, I hope you saw how I differentiated the painting of the armor parts and of course the orc skin. This makes painting green so versatile in my opinion, and actually in my opinion it's the most versatile and most dynamic color in the color wheel because you simply can paint like yellow highlights and you could utilize the rest of the colors as your shades up to the purple shade, which is the complementary color of green. So you practically paint with all of the colors in the color wheel. So I hope you like this video. That's it, Pansit.